Welcome to the shed. I am Max, the fast talking flipper. It is 7:15 in the morning, so of course Angie's not out here. It's too dang early. I had a bunch of stuff on my mind, so I wanted to get out here and film a video. The shed's almost finished. We've got some trim to do, a little bit of painting here and there, but for the most part, we've even started moving in. We decided to do a new inventory system, so we've been going through that and taking everything out of the music barn, going and inventorying things and putting it into the new inventory system, and with that, putting it in here. We've realized that this is a lot bigger than we anticipated, and we have 44 new bins to fill. We don't have enough inventory to fill those, of course, but we do have quite a bit to get into those. So we'll work on that over the next few weeks. I'm out here this morning. I'm gonna get some stuff listed. We actually got the photography area, kind of done up. I still need to do some lights up there that I'm gonna hang down, but that's my first box of stuff. Some Transformer toys and some action figures, just some cheap stuff. I'm gonna list it and get it done so that I can get a few items going. Our sales suck. We actually had a day where we had no sales, and for us that's crazy because we've had a sale a day every day since I think August last year. And if you know us, we got started in late June of last year with 5 listings. I had 5 listings online, and that was it. And we got started with that, and we started rolling, and we had pretty good success. In August, we started rolling pretty good, and then in September, it really took off. So it does hurt to see that we had a sale or a day without sales, and that wasn't yesterday, it was 2 days ago. But, it's because we haven't been interacting with the algorithm. I know that. I understand that. And it's not just a few days of no interaction. It's been a couple of weeks. We do ship. We have been shipping, but we're down to almost 700 listings, and we were up to about 830. So you can see where we've really let things go. That's okay. We had a lot of stuff on our plate, this being one. There was quite a few days of 12 and 14-hour work that we put in here because this is not a small undertaking. So I wanted to talk to you about just the shed. Not a lot about eBay today because this is a channel where I want to show you how you can do things kind of the way we do them and take some ideas from that and apply them to your own kind of reselling business or however you want to do those. So with the shed, if I were to look back and say I would do things differently, I would have built this place myself. I think you could have probably saved somewhere in the neighborhood of about $6,000 to build the thing yourself. I believe that we're going to be around $22,000 give or take with everything. Now that's for a 14 by 32 shed, finished out on the inside with sheathing, not something fancy. You would be into it for more if you went with shiplap or some other material that would look a lot more fancy. We were okay with just the sheathing. We're not going to be living in here, so we're okay with that. That's everything all in, all inclusive. I do need to say thank you to Dennis, Mr. Fix-It here in Cincinnati. Sometimes it's good to surround yourself with good people, and Dennis is good people. He really made things happen in here, and without his help, this would not have been possible. I've been blessed in my life that I've found some good people, and I've got some good tools in my belt, and Dennis is one of those. And another one is Mario. You'll probably catch Mario in some videos at some point along the line. Mario is my clean out guy, and boy, he is another great tool. But those two great tools, Dennis especially when it came to the shed, I can't thank him enough for coming out and helping and providing some labor that comes along with that. So as of right now, I've got very little to get done, but that's not where I wanted to go with this. The costs of everything. I don't have the Excel sheet here. I'll get to that later in the video when I can get the Excel sheet. But the things that I would have done differently is I would have probably added more windows or changed the location of the door. That might have been something that I did different. I would have put it on a short wall instead of a long wall and maybe added a couple more windows. I might have done a dual unit or a dual zone heater, just because I'm not thinking that this is going to heat the room the way that I want it to. We have it overhead right over my shoulder here, and it's going to keep us warm, but it may not keep the rest of the room warm. It'll keep the room warm, but it may not flow the way I wanted it to. So we might have to add a fan or something along those lines. Short of that, this has been a pretty straightforward project, with it being everything, you know, kind of just being acceptable and not have to be totally finished. It made it really easy to do things. You didn't have to nail it on the first try, so to speak. So it's been just shy of 3 weeks that we've had the shed, and we're nearly there. We've got to put up some shelves around here. I got to put a TV up here, the shelving to go behind me so that we can do some display type of inventory. You know, Angie has a few things already sitting out, like these Planters Peanuts martini cups. We want to display those rather than put them in a bin because they're fragile. So it'd be easier to display them as they get sold. And then we're changing things around. But to walk you around the shed, because now it's, you know, it's a lot closer than it was and it's a lot cleaner. We still have to finish up our shipping area. I'm not really sure what I'm going to do as far as the stuff right here, a shelf. I had this shelf. I think we're probably going to try to use it for putting shipping boxes on, and then do something with shelving here. I'm probably going to cut this countertop down and place it along this area here so that we can do shipping here. I'll put bubble wrap and paper up here, and then we'll have, you know, a small shipping table that we can package everything. I need to get more shelving over there for all of our shipping boxes and shipping materials. This shelf turned out great. This is going to be where we store our large stuff. So when we get, you know, I don't even know. We had some big trains that didn't really fit in our bins. So this will be great for stuff like that. We've got all those shoes over there. This will be great for that kind of stuff. You can see all the bins, all of our bins that are starting to fill out. As I get done with tools, I start to you know, downsize this and get out of here with the tools. This is my pile of tools that need to go back into the garage or back into our shop. And this is what's left that we're actively using or we need to finish. Like I'm remembering, you know, now that I see this, I need to go around and fill some of the gaps in between the windows so that we have some insulation in there. I need to go back outside and seal up some of my conduit that I have outside on the power line for the heater, that kind of stuff. As that, you know, goes away, that's why it's laid out here, so I don't forget to do those particular projects. And as those things go away, I realize I'm done. Pretty straightforward. That little guy there in the outlet box, that's a doorbell. That's an emergency doorbell, another product that I use. I won't say emergency doorbell, but I've got a little button inside, and I take care of my 73-year-old elderly aunt, and if she needs something, she can ring that doorbell, and we know right away that she's, you know, in need. So we can run in and grab whatever she needs and come back out and take care of her. Over here, we still have to do the loft, so that's going to come down. This sheet will come down, and we'll paint it so that we don't leave that unfinished. We'll cut this sheet down and paint it as well, and then add, you know, this little strip here just bothers me because it doesn't line up. So we'll add something there, and then I got to do some lighting underneath here. But that's, you know, it's simple stuff. It's easy stuff to get done. The cost of that is negligible. We already have the lights. I think I already took them away. I don't remember where they went. Oh, there they are. We already have the lights. Angie had those from her other house, her garage that she had. So we've already got those. We've already got the materials. At this point, the only thing I still need to buy is materials to do a patio out front, because this patio is just not, that's not going to work. You know, it was getting muddy there the other day. Here's my truck. New car that we got yesterday, part of our inventory. We're going to probably use that as a project, and it probably won't turn any money. I don't know. We got, you know, a plan for it, and it may turn into one of our personal cars that we play with, because we do enjoy cars. Angie and I are both into the car scene, so that's something we have fun with. But that patio is not going to work. It was getting, kind of rainy, kind of muddy. The ground thawed, the ground thawed, and it was just muddy and gross. So we threw down some scraps from boards that we were cutting and used those there for our patio. But we'll build a deck, a small 6x12 deck there. Probably a couple hundred, $300 is my guess on that. We still have the power line to buy, and I'm waiting to buy that in hopes that maybe the prices go down. But short of that, I think I'm pretty close to done. Got to go along the outside and seal up some holes, because these things aren't airtight when you get them. There were some holes in the ceiling that we had to fill too. I'm really considering the vents that are in here on either end, putting some kind of system to keep the air from flowing so easily in and out. Not really sure what I'm going to do there yet, but just something to keep the air in. You do need to get air to continue to flow, so it is important to do that, but I do want to figure out a way to make it less easy for the air to flow out, if that makes sense, because those are just open air vents that go just straight outside. So definitely pondering an idea of that, because like when you close the door, you don't want the air to suck out at the same time. So I don't know, we'll get it figured out. Our photography table is adjustable. It does go up and down. It does roll out of the way. So if for some reason I have a larger item that I need to take a picture of, I can set it on the floor, and we still have this backdrop that we can use floor to ceiling. This is our backdrop. This is just barn roofing. I was at an auction, I was at an auction and saw somebody buy this stuff, not this particular one, but similar stuff. And I was like, man, what in the world are you buying it for? And he got it for $10. And he said, I'm going to go home and do a project with it and line the edges of my bar with it. And ever since then, that sounded like a great idea, because it does have that nice rustic look. And when I did a project in the basement, I did a ceiling in one of my rooms in my basement that is just this barn tent, and it makes it really cool. And I used a galvanized tub to make a light fixture out of, and it's just a really cool look. So when it came time for a backdrop, I thought that this would be great, and I put it into my other building, my music barn, and it worked out well. We put it up here, and you can see that with this this butcher block style top, putting this up and putting a figure up against that's going to work out. That's going to look fantastic, I think. Just the same as what it did in our other stuff, and it's worked well for us. People have said you need a white background for eBay. I don't believe that at all, because this makes it unique. This makes it look like it's something that's ours, and it stands out, and you always know that it's our stuff. So I'm real happy with that. All told, we're going to be, like I said, 22,000 in, give or take. I think we could have saved about 6,000 building it ourselves. It would have taken quite a while. It would have taken a couple of weeks to build the building ourselves, just being that it's just me and Dennis and not, a group of people that does this on the regular. It would have taken a lot longer than it would, somebody who does this routinely, but that would have saved quite a bit of money if you have the skill and you have the time to do that kind of stuff. The other things that may add to someone else's cost are doing things like, if you buy, we didn't put trim up yet, but if you buy traditional trim for stuff like this, that would cost you a lot more. We took a sheet of sheathing, like it's traditionally it would be finished sheathing. It's got a finished edge on the outside of it, but it's actually, you can see that has like a finished grain, but it's actually this stuff on the backside, the OSB pressboard style stuff on the backside. We took a sheet of that and ripped it down into the sections that we needed, and that saved us probably half of the expense of the sheathing, because we knew we were going to need different stuff, and we knew we were going to need different sizes and whatnot, so it just made more sense. It's actually this board here. It's not cheap. It's $60 a board, but it saves you in the long run if you have the knowledge and the tools to do it, because you do need this particular guy here, the blue one, the blue and silver. That's a jig for attaching to your circular saw so that you can make nice, clean, repeatable, even cuts. And that's something I'll review later, because I got a couple products that I want to review. I want to review that guy. I want to review some Amazon lights, some solar powered motion sensing lights that I put up that I'm really happy with, because they were dirt cheap. They were $15 for 2, and they have a remote solar sensor that is 16 feet away. You can wire it up 16 feet away. I don't get sun on this side of the building where the lights are, but I do on the other side. So I wanted to run the sensor over there, and I found these, and they were 15 bucks shipped. They came next day. Unbelievable. And they're not bright, but they're bright enough for what I wanted to do, and that is not kill myself when I walk out of here at night. So that's awesome. I want to review that guy because that is a game changer, I think. $1,500 for air conditioner and heat, and it's you can install it yourself. You don't really need a lot of skill, like on a 1 to 5 scale, 1 being easy, 5 being the hardest. It's like maybe a 2 or a 3. It's not hard at all. I did it without any serious tools, and it was just stupid easy. So I want to do those. I do want to break down with you the overall costs and how much each individual thing was, but I have to wait until Angie gets up to do that. So with that, this is it. This is where we're going to be working out of. You're going to see a lot more of this place, and you're going to see it get a lot more filled and a lot more utilized. I really don't know where things are going to go with it. Like we have to clean. I pulled this out of my garage. We were using it as a garage refrigerator, but the garage is only 50 feet away now. So there's no point. Let's use it in here and have some brewskis. And be able to use that. We can walk from the garage to out here rather than walk from here to the garage, if that makes sense, because we're going to be in here more. So, all right, guys, future me here. It's a couple days later, and I'm actually sitting in front of the computer now. I've got a chance to look through some things. We actually had a chance to go and buy decking, and it was more expensive than I thought. I didn't realize how much treated wood had went up. Interior wood is different than outerior. I'm a moron. Than outside wood and stuff you would leave outside, and it's not treated, so it's a lot more expensive. I said $200 to $300 I thought, and it ended up being $475. So I was way off there. The only things that are not on here are, well, it's not things, but the only thing I can think of that's not on here is labor and the power wire. So you can see that tools, we had to spend $400 in tools, and most people would probably have to spend more than that if you didn't have tools already. This is just general stuff. These are each individual entry that we had. General stuff. The one big thing that we had to buy was a spray gun, a level, a big electric level or laser level, pew pew pew, and the jig for the saw. Assorted, this is just like screws and stuff that went to multiple different things here, like caulk. Caulk went with paint. It also went with electrical, and it went with some framing, because you would use caulk all throughout different things. So that went in assorted. Sheathing, most people's numbers of sheathing would probably be different than ours, because we just went with plain OSB. That's this general stuff. You can see it's got a texture to it. It doesn't present well. From afar, it looks okay, but we painted it, and that caused the cost of paint to go astronomically high. $412 is probably incorrect, because I think Angie spent about $50 more on paint as well, but I just don't have that number. It caused paint to go way up. So we could have probably done away with some of that here and there, but this is okay. If you were going to live in here, I would recommend drywalling this, maybe, or something along those lines, if this was your final destination with it. For us, we're not sure that this is where it's going to stay, so that's kind of why we were okay with doing not the drywall, but the OSB on the sheets of the wall here. So think about that, because when this building moves, it twists, it turns, it doesn't stay square. And if it's going to move once again, then you may not want to go with drywall, because that will crack the drywall. Framing, that's just your general stuff, like the cross beams that we put, you know, some of these, we put in extra ones of these. It only had 3, and now we have 6. So stuff like that cost us 66 bucks. Electrical, the one piece that's missing is the power cable to run from here to my feed, and that's about $1,000. I just don't have it yet, and I haven't bought it yet because I'm hoping that the market will go down between now and the time that I buy it. I've got to buy 120 feet of 6-gauge power cable, and that stuff's like $4 a foot, for something a foot right now. And I've got to buy the conduit that goes with it, and then all the pieces for the conduit, all the turns and everything. And I'm guessing it's going to be about $1,000 per what I've estimated. You know, I've kind of priced it out what each run of conduit is. Each 10-foot run of conduit is 20 bucks. So right there is $200 in just the run. And hopefully I don't want to buy it, in all honesty, until I dig the ditch for it. That's another thing that's on here. I'm going to have to rent a ditch witch to run and dig the ditch and do that. And that's probably going to cost me, I don't know, maybe $250, $300. It depends on if I can tow it or not. If I can tow it with my truck, I can get it for, I think, about $100 for a day. If I can't, if it's too big of a capacity for my truck, then I'll have to have it delivered, and it'll be about $300. So that's another thing. Heater, $1,500. That's just flat. I think it was closer to like $1,470, but I can't remember exactly. Just threw 15 on there because I'm not exact on all this stuff. The science doesn't, you know, isn't exactly right, but I'm pretty darn close to these numbers. Shelves, $300 to build everything, and that does include. Oh, that's one thing I didn't add on here. The bins. Oof, these bins cost us a pretty penny. These shelves, this 32-foot run of shelves. These are 2 feet apart, and they're 2 feet deep, and you can see that these bins are just perfect for this. They slide in and out really easy. There's plenty of room for them. There's plenty of room for me. I've got pretty wide shoulders, and I've got plenty of room to walk down through here, and I can carry a bin. It gets a little tight here, I will admit, but I've still got plenty of room. As long as nothing on the right-hand side, you know, sticks out, I've got plenty of room. I think altogether the bins, we got 64 bins. And that's just cool to me to, like, you know, look down that, look at how cool that looks. We've got 64 bins at, oh, well, $13 a piece. So if I can do the math on it, I guess I could add that to it right now and, you know, total it up. So we'll do bins, sum of, they were 13 each times 64. There we go. Good Lord, is that right? $832. Did we really spend $832? I don't know if that's right, but yeah, I guess it is. And then this is, well, we'll just put 832. So there we go. There's your total. Yeah, not happy with that. That's a lot of money for bins. That's a lot of money for bins. But it makes it look proper, and it makes it look right, and I'm happy with it. So there you go. It is one thing that I forgot. Paint, you can get away with much cheaper paint. This is because we went with some higher end paints to get it done better. Flooring, could have probably not put any flooring down and just thrown a rug down and saved some money there. Decking, you could probably just gotten away with the steps that we had. We had a set of steps that I don't know where I got them from. I don't know. I found them somewhere in one of my auctions. I can't remember where I got them. Honestly, I can't. But they worked perfectly. Could have probably dealt with those forever. So that's another way to save some money. The shed would have been the biggest way to save money. I think you could have built this for about $6,000 less. And if you just piece together hodgepodge bins, or bought, you know, like Dave, NC Picker has, he's got all those cardboard bins. Those are much cheaper than what I have here. I just wanted the durability and the dress right dress, the look good of the black plastic bins. So that's why. Altogether, we're at, what, $20,385. Add another $1,000 to that, so we're at $21,385. legitimately you could probably go up another, to 22,000 total, and then that's without labor. I did pay Dennis to help us, but that's neither here nor there. I don't want to discuss that on the screen because he does work for me different than he does work for other people, and I do appreciate that he does that. I really appreciate his help. But the fact is, if you would have paid somebody like myself, if I would have been bidding this job, and if you would have paid me for it, I'd probably said, somewhere in the neighborhood $3,000 to $5,000 to come in and do the work, to do everything and get it done. I'm guessing that's kind of where, a contractor would have been to build this all out, to do everything, to do all the work. And that includes the electrical up front, getting it from my garage to here, building all that and everything that comes along with that. So that's about your total. That's everything you see. This includes 100% of everything that I can think of. I didn't purposely leave anything out. If I left something out, it's been on accident. So that's everything you can see. You can see we've already started getting some stuff up. I'm kind of proud of that. That's a heavy hitter, Masters of the Universe piece there. So I'm happy with how things are turning out. We've already started working in here. We got some of our shipping stuff in back there, and we got the shipping table up. I still need to paint the edge of it. We got our area for photographs and stuff going. I've got to clean up in here and continue to move stuff in and clean stuff up, and still have to do the trim. We keep saying we have to do the trim, but life keeps getting in the way. So as we continue to work, we'll continue to make it better. But for now, I'm going to kick it back to old me and get this video finished and over with. So anyway, that's it with all the numbers and everything. Thanks for tuning in. I appreciate it. Thanks for following along with our adventure of doing the shed. Remember to subscribe and like and share and do all that kind of stuff. Ring the bell. Get the notifications when we come out with a new video. We've kind of committed to doing at least 2 a week is where we're at. We want to keep that up, and you guys keep us motivated. Thank you for all the comments we've been getting recently. We appreciate that, and all the likes and all the views and whatnot. My friends have been reaching out saying, I see you on my TV, and I'm like, hey, that's creepy because it's 1:30 in the morning. Why are you watching me? But hey, just keep doing what you're doing. So when we get to 100, we'll do the giveaway. Then hopefully the next one will come soon thereafter at 250, and we'll keep giving stuff away as we continue to grow. If you like to see the content, keep tuning in. Yard sale season is going to get started here soon, and we're going to go out and make some friends in the yard sale world. So keep tuning in, like, share, subscribe, do all that kind of stuff. But until the next one, we will see you next time.